This video has two purposes. The first one is to guide you in your search for a suitable topic for your final exam project. The second one is to provide some guidelines for the good problem formulation. The final exam project is written for a specific company and must be action-oriented. This means that it should propose how the company should solve a given real problem, including which specific activities the company should carry out and which results that could be expected. What is a suitable topic then? The topic for your final exam project should be a specific real problem or opportunity faced by your company. You define the topic or problem to be investigated together with the company. Sometimes the company already has a clear idea about topics that they are interested in having analyzed when they hire you. In other circumstances, you'll have to define the topic based on your observations during the first weeks of your internship in a dialogue with your contact person in the company. To generate ideas for your project, it can be a good idea to write down what you observe in the company from day one. You may use the SWOT tool as a structure for your observations. When you observe something that the company is really good at, write it under strengths. If you observe something that the company should work on improving, write it under weaknesses. When you learn about challenges or opportunities in the market, write it under threats or opportunities, and so forth. After a while, you will have a lot of useful input which you can use for generating project ideas. You can also get inspiration from looking at former projects. Here's a few examples of topics. A marketing plan for a product, a distribution analysis for a Danish company on a foreign market, an examination of the possibility for the company to establish itself on a new market by means of franchising. Quality check. When you have identified what you think is a relevant and interesting topic, try to answer these 6 questions in your own words. What is the specific problem or opportunity you're trying to solve? Why is it relevant and important to the company? Who will read your report? What decisions should the company be able to make based on your report? This will decide what information you need, what analysis to make, and which theories and models to include. When you can answer these 6 questions, you have sufficient information to write your problem formulation. What is a problem formulation? The problem formulation states the main purpose, the main problem or question that you want to answer in the report. As a general rule, the problem formulation consists of a broad, overall question that will be answered, followed by 3 to 4 sub-questions which state precisely how the main problem is dealt with. Keep in mind that the problem formulation is the connecting thread of the project. The better a problem formulation, the easier the rest of the project will be. A good problem formulation will be your guide for how to structure your report, what theory to include, and what information to collect. This is why it is extremely important to have a precise and well thought of problem formulation. To move from problem formulation to conclusion, you must answer the sub-questions by applying relevant theory and by using empirical data. Relevant theory is theory and models that can help you structure your analysis and present your results in a structured way. You may use some of the theory and models that you know from class, but depending on the topic you've chosen, it might also be necessary to look for supplementary theory and models which are new to you. Empirical data is the data or information that you must collect in order to be able to make the needed analysis. This data can either be existing data collected by others, also known as secondary data, which can be collected by doing desk research, or it can be data collected by you by doing field research. A final exam project must include field research made by you to demonstrate that you are capable of collecting and analyzing data in a systematic way, applying the methodology that you have been taught at the academy. When designing your report, bear in mind that you should not only describe how things are, you are also expected to analyze the collected information and, based on that, to come up with specific recommendations, actions for the company. Here's an example of a problem formulation. How can Bolia penetrate the German market for designer furniture is the main question. The sub-questions are: what are the internal resources of Bolia? How attractive is the German market? What is the recommended action to successfully penetrate the German market? So how to write a problem formulation? To sum up, the problem formulation states the main purpose of the report. It consists of a broad overall question that will be answered, followed by 3 to 4 sub-questions which state precisely how the main problem is dealt with. The problem formulation is to be seen as the connecting thread of the project. Finally, it is important that you present the context in which the problem formulation and your project must be understood. It is necessary to introduce the reader and explain the background of the report, as well as it is important to explain in more detail how the problem statement will be answered. Therefore, the first chapter of your report can be seen as a project description. The first chapter of your final exam project, called Introduction, should always follow this structure. This was a short introduction on how to get started with your problem formulation. You can read more in guidelines for preparing project reports on